Hi there, this is your friend Anna, and the question that I've been getting the most from all of my friends is, what are we wearing? This age-old question isn't just about choosing an outfit, it's about choosing how we present ourselves to the world. I created the I Want Her Shoes podcast to dive deep into what it means to dress with intention, whether you're heading to a council meeting or just having a casual day out with your family. Join the conversation as we explore the power of personal style and the decisions that shape our public personas. Put on your favorite pair of shoes and step into my closet. Welcome back to the I Want Her Shoes, the podcast where we explore the powerful intersection of style, success, and substance. I'm your host, Anna, and today we're stepping into the beautiful, bold world of a woman who tells it like it is with flair, fire, and healthy dose of sarcasm. Joining us today is Asha Elias, author, journalist, mother, and reluctant socialite.
Very reluctant these days.
Whose debut novel, Pink Glass Houses, which I read, is a sharp and unapologetic as you are, and I really enjoyed the book. From contributing to Cosmopolitan to becoming the no-holds-barred sex and dating columnist for Miami New Times. Congrats, I really like reading your pieces there as well. Asha brings humor and honesty to every story that she tells. And in this episode, we will dive into the contradictions and complexities of modern motherhood, the inspiration behind her fiction, and what it's like to be a writer in a city full of real characters.
Well said.
And how she balances real life with the curated chaos of the Miami social scene. And whether you're a writer, a reader, a mom, or someone just trying to figure it out, Asha's journey will remind you that sometimes the best stories are the ones we're not afraid to live out loud, right?
Yeah, I love that.
And welcome, Asha. It's so
Thank
nice
you
to
for
have
having
you.
me. It's great to be here.
I'm so excited because when I read your book, The Pink Glass Houses, that's when I got to know about North Beach Elementary School.
Oh.
And now my son is going to be going there to the kindergarten.
It's a great school.
Yeah, I know. So, but I want to know like how much of that is true and how much of that is fiction, because I was like, I'm sure there's some characters that you based it on, but obviously it's like fiction too. But that's so interesting.
Of course. And I'll just backtrack a little bit and say that I was the vice president of fundraising for the PTA for North Beach when I wrote this, and the main character in the book is a very controversial vice president of fundraising for the PTA. So there was a lot of art imitating life, but I really meant to do it in a cheeky way. And the characters that I write about and the school that I write about is kind of really meant to be broader about Miami and Miami Beach in particular, and less about the characters at that PTA, at that school, at that time. I actually came from a Montessori school where it was even more cutthroat, and even though it was a smaller school and a private school, a lot of those issues were amplified. So the answer is, there's fact and there's fiction.
I love that. That's a great answer to that. Well, I think this is a really good segue, Asha, for you to tell me a little bit about your background. Where did you grow up? And how did you end up in this beautiful city of Miami?
Yeah, great question. I grew up in Boca Raton, Florida, which even though it's only an hour to an hour and a half north of here, it's a completely different world. Culturally, fashion-wise, the education system is different. I moved to Miami to attend the University of Miami in 2001, and I absolutely fell in love with how diverse it is here, and even kind of how weird it is. Like, I really fell in love with the kind of only in date things that we love to make fun of, but it made me feel at home in a weird way, because I felt like anything goes here. You can really, like you said, live out loud. You can be unapologetically yourself. And in some smaller suburbs, that isn't really possible.
Yes, that's a great answer. And let's start, we talked a little bit about the pink glass houses, and it was such a great book. And now you're back with the Namaste Club.
Yes.
What's the story behind the new title, and what's the themes that are diving into this time around?
So I like to write about Florida. I like to talk about issues that are really unique to this place. And, two of my biggest passions are motherhood. So I wrote a book about that, and wellness. And so that was the natural next step for me. And as much as I love wellness, the yoga community, the fitness community, there's also a lot that you can kind of step back and say, like, okay, like we're getting a little too far with this. And I wanted to do that. And I think anytime I'm kind of like criticizing or satirizing a community or a topic, I'm doing it from a place of love and a place that I can identify from because I'm a part of it. So the Namaste Club is a very satirical look at the yoga and wellness community, and also a little bit about women in midlife, women after divorce, sexuality in midlife, and some topics that I was kind of nervous to talk about in my first book.
Well, I'm really excited to read this book. I haven't read it yet. And I think you just answered my next question, was how did it evolve? And you said that you kind of felt more comfortable talking about some more controversial things. And why do you think that is? Do you think it's because you're different now than you were when you wrote the other book?
I think that I'm less scared. I think that I didn't realize I was holding back with pink glass houses, and if you read it, probably doesn't seem like I was, because I definitely go to some controversial places. But with the Namaste Club, I get into sex, I get into microdosing, I get into all of these parts of our reality that we're really not talking about as much. And I thought it would be really fun to write a book examining all of those things. And at that point, I thought, listen, I have an agent now. I have an editor at my publishing house, and they'll tell me if it's too much. And they read it, and they were like, great, let's do it.
I love it. Well, cheers to that. Congratulations on your second book. Well, let's talk a little bit about style too. Obviously the themes are very different, and how has your style also evolved throughout the times too, and as you have evolved as a mom and as a writer and everything?
That's a really great question. And I've been thinking about that a lot recently, actually, because I was just commissioned by Financial Times to write a piece about Miami. And I thought,
congratulations.
Great, thank you so much. And I thought, great, like I can do this with my eyes closed. I love writing about Miami. And then I sat down to write it, and I realized it was very hard because it's a different audience and it's a different publication. And I realized that every time you write something, you do have to start from scratch and figure out what's the voice going to be, what's the tone is going to be. Yes, I am someone as a writer and I have my style, but every project has to feel a little bit different.
Right. Yeah, no, that's a really great answer as well. And you once described yourself as a reluctant socialite. How does that dynamic show up in the Namaste Club?
Ooh, that's a great question. I think that it shows up because the characters want to be a part of this community, but they're also kind of fiercely holding on to their individuality. And there are a lot of conflict between the women. I will get that spoiler.
I love a little
novel,
conflict.
but I think that there is a sense of community with them as well. So I think both things are important. Like, they want to be part of this group and they want to participate in some of these wacky things that are happening at this retreat, but at the same time, they're holding on to their individuality.
Cool. Well, that's really interesting, and that's awesome. And motherhood can be full of contradictions, as you know, joy and chaos and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
How did becoming a mom reshape your creative process, especially in writing the second book?
I think that becoming a mom has everything to do with why I'm an author today. I think because writing was always my passion and always something I wanted for myself, but I don't think I truly pursued it until I had someone that I wanted to be a good role model for, because I think I was always afraid of failure on my own. But then when it comes to my kids, like, I want to model them, like, follow your passions, you know, do the things that make you happy. So I don't think I would have ever obviously they were the inspiration for the first book, but also they're the reason that I started writing again.
Oh, that's really cool. That's awesome. And Miami Beach is more than just a setting in your work. It's kind of like a character.
Absolutely. I love that you said that. I feel the same exact way.
And how has the city and also now the fashion here? I know that we talked a little bit about the characters and the weirdness, but how has the fashion here shaped both your writing and the identity as a mother too?
Yeah. Okay. So I do talk in Pink Glass Houses a lot about
the outfits and everything. Yes, which I love.
And the moms showing up in crop tops and wearing tank tops and boots in the winter. And I have to tell you, I am one of those people. So I'm not making fun of them.
Guilty as charged.
Yeah, I know. It's
hot here. You have to
It's hot. Exactly. It's hot, and we want to look cute, and we don't care if people think that we shouldn't be wearing that as a mother. And it's funny because one of the first interviews I did after the book came out, I showed up in a crop top, and they said, "Oh, you're one of them." And I said, "Yes, I'm not trying to be mean." And this is me too.
That's authentic, though, you know?
Yes. And I get that it's not, I think it's really interesting that people don't dress like this everywhere. And like, it's Miami, we do it our way. And we don't care that like someone in another city or community would judge us. Like, this is what we like.
Yeah, and I love that about Miami because I feel like people here are a lot more confident than other places.
Yeah.
And they wear, you know, like you see people wearing things you will never see in other cities. And I think it's great. If you have the confidence, you should wear what makes you feel the best. Yeah.
Wear the crop top.
Exactly. And there's a lot of real honesty in your writing that hits so many women right in the gut, which it's so, I love that. That's so great. What do you hope readers, especially moms and multi-hyphenate women, walk away from after reading the last book that you wrote?
The Namaste Club?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that question. I hope they walk away with kind of permission to be themselves. These women are defying social norms. And again, like, these are women in their late 30s and 40s who are still talking about sex. If they're divorced, they still want to be meeting people and dating. And they're definitely dressing a certain way. And they're having a good time and doing the things that like women were told that we should not necessarily be doing, and deriving pleasure from things we shouldn't derive pleasure from. And I think that we should all give ourselves permission to do that.
Yeah, no, that's a great answer. And I think the norms have changed, right? So, and which is great. And it sounds like that is really, the book is like about empowerment, really, right? For women.
Definitely.
And I just had a lunch with two women and we're just talking about this kind of not midlife, but more like it's kind of like a new awakening, right? So, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And let's talk a little bit about style. Is there any item in your closet that is like very special and that you pull out like when you want to feel really good, or just for, you know, special occasion? Or is there something that you could think of that stands out?
Oh, there are some pieces that I'm really emotionally attached to. There's one that's this beautiful coat. It's like an open coat with like a tapestry, kind of like pinkish and whitish, and then there's like a shearling collar. It's
sounds fabulous.
It is very like out there. Would be great for like a desert cold retreat, and I just love it.
Burning Man style.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was just thinking
so
that. Yeah.
impractical for Miami, but I love it.
Miami winters, you know, like Art Basel.
Yeah, I'll put it on my shoulders
Yes.
for like 10 minutes.
I love that. And why don't we talk now about these beautiful shoes and the story behind
They're very
these.
shiny.
Yes, and I feel like they would go like well with that coat you just described too.
Oh, yeah. So like I was telling you, I tend to gravitate towards neutrals, and I like edgy neutrals. I mean, I don't think I have like a very tame or conservative style, but and every now and I feel like with shoes, like you can have so much fun. You can, and these, for whatever reason, these
So
Gucci
for people that are
heels-
not watching, that are just listening, these are Gucci, and they have like cool little Pumas.
Yes,
We decided
They're
were
Pumas.
Yeah, in the front.
gold
And
Pumas in the front.
they're gold, like really high heels with like
Metallic,
metallic pink,
deep red and
deep
blue.
red and blue. Yes,
And for some
gorgeous.
reason, they go with everything.
No, they
And-
would go with every color. Yeah, they're gorgeous. And there's their story that's behind them. How did you get them? Where did you get them?
I got them at the Gucci store 10 years ago. They're like such an older, they're an older pair of shoes.
Timeless.
They're timeless.
Yes.
And I still feel great every time I wear them. It's like wearing a brand new pair of shoes.
Love it. No, I love when shoes make you feel like that. And you're an author, columnist, mom, and observer of a lot of modern chaos, especially here in Miami. Which identity surprised you the most, and which one feels the most like home?
Ooh, of the hats that I wear?
Yes.
Oh, nobody's ever asked me that. That's such a great question. I think author, columnist surprised me the most because I would have cried as a child to learn that I could grow up and do the thing that I always wanted
That's
to do.
so awesome.
It was always my dream. And, like when you're young, like very young, everything seems possible. And then as you get older, it seems more and more out of reach.
That's true.
So I think the fact that I'm able to have a career in exactly what I wanted to do, it surprises me every day. And I'm grateful every
Congratulations,
day.
and you deserve it, and you
Thank
worked
you.
hard for it, girl.
And I think the one that feels like home is being a mother, which I had no idea what kind of mom I was going to be like before I had kids. But once my daughter came along, there was no question that, I wanted to spend as much time with her, and then it was just the greatest gift.
That's awesome. That's a great answer. Thank you. And now we're gonna do this quick little fire round of this or that.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, this is a hard one. Pink glass houses or the Namaste Club?
What?
I know, sorry.
The Namaste Club.
Miami sunrise or NYC skyline?
Miami sunrise.
Espresso martini or chilled Chardonnay?
Espresso martini.
Ditto. Writing in silence or with a playlist?
Silence.
Linen jumpsuit or silk slip dress?
Silk slip.
I could see that.
I like both though. Those are both good.
Yeah. Nostalgic throwback or fresh hot take?
Nostalgic throwback. I'm just in that moment right now.
Yeah, I could see that.
Feeling nostalgic.
Solo beach day or girls brunch?
Girls brunch.
Stiletto sandals or high top sneakers?
High top sneakers every day.
Gossip column or journal entry?
Gossip column.
Yeah, of course. Well, Asha, thank you so much for bringing us into your glitterly gritty, totally relatable world.
This was so fun.
And the Namaste Club is a testament to your ability to hold space for contradictions, beautiful and broken, stylish and undone, loud and still. You give women permission to feel it all and still laugh at the chaos. And to our listeners, thank you for joining another episode of I Want Her Shoes podcast. And don't forget, style is more than fashion. It's a mindset. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite platform. Grab a copy of Asha's latest book and the other one too. It's good too.
And I do love them both.
Yes. And remember, every chapter you write in your life deserves a killer pair of shoes.
Ooh.
Until next time, wear the shoes, write that story, and live unapologetically, ladies. Bye.
Bye. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I love these questions.
Thank you. Well, now I'm going to
So
ask you one
great.
more thing.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you to pick a pair of shoes in my closet that that represents you the best.
Ooh, how fun. I mean, you have a gorgeous
Yeah, look around.
collection.
A lot of people go towards the pink because it's right there, but there's definitely more stuff.
Mhm. Which one represents me as a person? Ooh.
Or that you would wear. Like
Mhm.
that you would just grab and you would put on.
I would wear so many of them. Oh, I think I know what I'm gonna say. Oh, no, actually, no. Cowboy boots.
Alrighty, that's
All
awesome.
day.
Well, pick one. Pick the ones that you want because we're going to take a little Polaroid with us.
Oh, perfect. These.
Yeah, grab them.
They're all stunning.
Just pull them out.
So my boyfriend's like, how many pairs of cowboy boots do you need? And I'm like, they're in style.
They are in style. Well, you just went to Coachella too.
Yes, you went the second
yes,
weekend, right?
I know, and you went the first. Did you go with your boyfriend or?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And did you guys have a lot of friends there and stuff too?
Yeah, so we kind of like went in and out of different friend groups, but
Oh, that's
I'm gonna
cool.
go next year for sure.
Nice.
I loved it.